All right, welcome back, NERDTech Cafe. We are here today. So we gave some love to Google last week.
Yes.
This week it's all about maybe Samsung foldables.
Yeah, it's about all the foldable phones now that are out and that everyone is talking about, that they're just continuing with foldable phones, both on the Z Flip and on the Galaxy Fold.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts? What do you think about foldable phones being the future of smartphones?
Wow, that's a good question. It's kind of a loaded question. As a tech person, I think it's a great time for tech. I think foldables are make tech right now exciting.
Yeah,
It's just a new form factor that they're trying to figure out. For the longest time we've just had the slab of glass, kind of sandwiched in between kind of the candy bar shape phone, and now they're exploring different form factors and things like that. So for me, it's exciting to see those things. I'm not sure if it's if it's really going to catch on.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how much really people need foldable phones. It's nice that they're trying to go back to that nostalgia of having foldable phones back then. But to me, it seems like the durability isn't really a factor in this. Like they're not thinking about how durable is the phone. There have been problems with both phones from Samsung, whether it's they start cracking or there's a line that just forms down the middle of the screen. Because they have to make a foldable LCD or OLED display, which after time it's going to create that type of like burn-in.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think there's two fatal flaws with these new form factors. I think one is the durability, like you mentioned. I think the second one is the price.
Yes.
It's such a new form factor. It's the R&D that goes into it. I think it's hard for the manufacturers to get the price down.
Yes.
To make it profitable. And so they're throwing phones out there that are over $2,000 or close to $2,000. I just think that the average person is just not to put that much money down on a product that may or may not last.
Yeah, for sure.
I just have a hard time with it. So I think the technology isn't quite there for foldables. And I honestly think that so there's two form factors that Samsung has come up with, right?
Yes.
So it's the Z Flip and then the Z Fold. So the Z Flip is like the old foldable phones where it folded, and it's a lot smaller in size, and then you can put it in your pocket. Which is neat, but it's still, when you unfold it, it's just like any regular phone, right? It's just that it gets smaller and it's more compact and maybe easier to put in your pocket and carry around. Which I think in the past, when we came from foldables, right? I think the idea of a foldable phone was to make it more mobile, because the early mobile phones were really heavy. They were really, huge. And, it was like, well, we can't carry these things around. They're supposed to be mobile, but they're just too big. And so I think making them fold and put it in your pocket was why they became folded, right? And then, those phones were really just they had a small LCD screen on them. It was for making calls and texting, and that was about it.
Yeah.
That form factor now, I don't know if it works, right? Because we don't need... People want big screens, right? And so, yes, I get it. You're folding it in half. It's smaller. You put it in your pocket. It's more portable that way. But you're not interacting with the phone any differently, right? Whereas the fold... Now, I personally like that concept of, hey, it's a phone that you can interact with it like a phone, and then it opens up to something bigger, right? Like it's a 2-in-1 device, right? So now I have a tablet that I can work with, and then when I'm done with it, I close it up, use it like a phone, put it in my pocket. That I do like that, but again, I'm always worried about that screen folding, right?
Becoming
and so
a
the
problem.
durability of it. Yeah.
See, and I'm honestly on the opposite side of that. I don't like foldable phones because I feel like they become smaller in width, like specifically the fold, it becomes smaller in width, but at the same time it becomes thicker. So to me,
That's true.
and I haven't used one of these, so to me the closest thing I can think of is like a Nintendo DS, where before you used to be able to fold it and then to play you open it, but whenever it was folded, it was difficult to put it in your pocket because now it's thicker.
Okay.
And it's weird because we're in an era where really like everyone now is wearing tighter jeans, so being able to fill something that's thicker now, it's not really wider or taller, but it's thicker, and that's becomes a problem because now your pants just get even more tighter with it pulling from one side. So that to me is like, it's definitely, I can see why they're going that way, and to me it's not really something that's usable. Like I see that you can fold it into a tablet and it might be great for content viewing and seeing content on it, but I don't see how it's usable from like to type on it. Like I have this iPad, and before I got this Magic Keyboard, trying to type on the on-screen keyboard, it wasn't doable. I had to use one finger to do one letter at a time rather than using both hands.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. Using the phone itself, let's say it's a Z Fold, opening it up and trying to be productive on it. Yeah, I can see that being an issue because it's still like a phone.
Yes.
You're still touching the screen to type on it. Yeah, I guess I never thought that all the way through. I guess I get caught up with, Samsung makes it look exciting.
Yeah, they make it.
You can put 3 apps on one screen and everything like that. And to me, that you can be somewhat productive with it, or a little more productive, but it's still a small tablet, I guess. It's still limiting in what it can do, right?
Yeah, it becomes almost like just like a tablet, like you said, but it's more of a regular iPad, like just for content viewing, because it's so small, you can't really type on it. And it's almost like if you want both things, you can just get a phone and a tablet for the price that they're charging you. Like you can get a Samsung tablet, pretty decent one, and then get their top of the line Galaxy phone, and you would have both things. And whenever you get to a place where you want to view content, you can pull out your tablet and watch content, and then carry your regular phone elsewhere.
Yeah, again, the 2 fatal flaws I see for this form factor really is they're way too expensive. And durability is just going to be a problem, and it really did surprise me that Samsung did drop the price of the Z Flip this year, to make it pretty competitive with some of the phones out there. It's what, $1,000, $999, I think it was. I think that was a good move on them, and I think it'll entice more people to kind of look at that. But I don't know. I'd like to see their numbers on how many they actually sell.
They for sure are moving more towards trying to make it more accessible, because that price did drive a lot of people away on the first iteration. So now being able to, even with the deals, I remember when they announced them, the deals at like Best Buy were like get like $1,100 off, and you're like, that is a crazy deal. And it's just to get more people to move on to the foldables, because a lot of people right now are doubtful of it. And if more people get on board and more people start using them, that could be the path that phones take. Because right now we're kind of at a standstill where you can't really add much to a phone other than upgrading the cameras and having a better screen or something like that. Like you can't really make huge upgrades.
Yeah, I agree. I think mobile tech has gotten to the point where it's I wouldn't say it's boring, but the changes are small, incremental, right? They're incremental, and can you improve the cameras? Absolutely, but you're still using it in the same way. Yes. Can you improve on the quality of the screens? Absolutely. We're seeing more and more manufacturers moving over to 120 hertz on the screens. Okay, yeah, that adds to a better experience. But you know, the shape of it, how you engage with it, it's still pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been that way for several years now. And you know, I think actually my hat goes off to Samsung for trying to push innovation, you know, and trying to find a new form factor. I don't know if this necessarily is the right form factor right now, but it is exciting to see that, hey, you know, they're trying to figure something else out.
Yeah, that's so to me that's definitely something. Like I'm not knocking like foldable phones, but it's definitely like I like that Android is always the first one to push for new updates or like new different type of phones. Like they like whenever there's a new gaming phone, it's an Android phone. Whenever there's a new foldable phone, it's an Android phone. Like Apple is very conservative in terms of what they're upgrading.
Yes.
And to some degree, I feel like that works for Apple because they wait until that new feature or that new thing is like well rolled out and just perfected, and then they throw it on their phones.
Yeah.
But Android is always the first one to take that leap into, hey, is this going to be your new phone? Is this the difference you've been looking for? And they will always do that, but it's such a small market because everyone always goes back to, I just use my phone for social media, calls, and messages. That's about all I use my phone for. So there's no need to take that extra step.
Right. Yeah.